You're going to meet this morning as part of our series, 22 Acts of Kindness to End 2022, two pilots going above and beyond for four-legged friends. Some video of them in action. Pilots for Paws, Jeremy Hall and Angelo Peterson-Valdez. Let me tell you a little bit about how they came to our attention as we look at pictures of them in action. Jennifer Hall. That's one of our colleagues. You know Jen, she's based in London. She was highlighting in an email to us an issue that we spoke about actually earlier this week. The serious problems of stray dogs, puppies with no homes in the north. Vets haven't been able to return to the north because of COVID to have their spaying and neutering clinics. So animal rescues have become very important. And the pilots who fly those rescue missions are obviously key. Two of them with us this morning. Jen, proud mom, to Jeremy Hall. Good morning, Jeremy. Nice to see you on the left. Hi, Jeremy.
Good morning, Heather. Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you. And you, Angelo Peterson-Valdez. Jeremy's a flight instructor in London. Angelo is one of his students. They're joined together in this initiative. So good morning to both of you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Angelo, you really got the ball rolling here. So I'm going to start with you. How did you get started in all of this?
Yeah, so it was February of this year. I spoke to Summer. Summer is a friend of mine from Apple Aviation, and she asked us if there was any way of any of us doing a trip up to Timmins for a dog that was hit up in Moonsonee. We'd have to fly her down to the GTA. So I contacted Jeremy. He's one of my good friends, and we've been flying together for quite some time, and he was totally on board, and it was something that we just did immediately together right away.
Long-time connection with flying, and it was just a natural. Jeremy has access to a plane and has a plane himself, so off you go and you head up north. And then tell us a little bit about the flights themselves, Jeremy. What do you do?
We stage out of London, and we pick these dogs up in Timmins. So it's not close, but it's not too bad on this airplane. It's about 2.5 hours up with a good wind and 2.5 down. And it's really great. Weather's our biggest hurdle this time of year, being the winter. We've been lucky the past few weeks with some really nice weather, as you can see in the clip here.
I was going to say, it looks fantastic in that video.
Yeah, very lucky. So that's what we wait on, a nice clear day in both places. We get it all done in one day, up and back. And these dogs, it saves them a pretty long trip on the ground if they have to go by car or truck.
So you did one just yesterday, Angelo. No, not yesterday. Yesterday was Thursday. Wednesday of this week. Just your most recent was just this week. Tell me about that one and how it went.
Yeah, actually, that was Jeremy's trip.
That was your trip. Sorry. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you don't always go together, right? So that was your trip, Jeremy. Tell me about that then.
Yeah, so it was similar to our first trip. It was a dog that was hit by a car, unfortunately, up near Moosonee. He had a fractured front leg, but luckily no internal damage. So he was flown down commercially to Timmins, where I picked him up. So I went up there. There he is there, Coco, in his little cast. I picked him up. We had a bit of a hard time getting him into the plane with that broken leg. He wasn't a fan of being picked up. That's what I was hoping I could do. So we had a fueler in Timmins give us a lot of help. He actually donated half of his lunch. We used a roast beef sandwich to lure him up on the wing. We laid a pallet on the back of the wing like a ramp for him. He kind of hobbled up the pallet, got some roast beef, and then we got him tucked into the back. And once he was in there, he was really happy. And we flew him right into City Center Airport in Toronto, 2.5 hours. And I just heard this morning that his surgery was successful yesterday.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's very inventive, getting him in there with the roast beef sandwich. Are they good passengers, Angelo? I mean, these dogs, when you're flying them down, are they easy to transport and enjoying the trip with you?
Yeah, I was surprised. They're better than some of the passengers that I take that are humans. Yeah, no, definitely really good passengers. They are calm the whole flight. They let you pet them and everything else. Sometimes they get a little scared at first, but once we're in the air, they're looking out the window, and it seems like they're just enjoying themselves.
So Angelo, just tell us a little bit of what happens when you rescue them, when you get them back down to Southern Ontario. What happens to these rescue dogs?
Yeah, so they'll usually go to a, I guess, one of those foster homes, a foster home, and they'll go to a shelter. And usually after we drop them off, we don't really get much updates unless it's an injured pup. But they'll find a home for them, and Yeah, I guess our mission is successful.
Well, as Jeremy was saying, Coco yesterday got surgery already, so on the mend and maybe on the way to adoption. Highlighting that problem, I was mentioning that actually your mom, Jeremy, mentioned to us in writing about this. When you're up there and you're seeing these northern communities as a result of COVID, what is it that you're seeing? I mean, are there dogs everywhere, strays and puppies that don't have housing and places to be sheltered?
Absolutely, and that's the problem. Before the pandemic, there were regular vet clinics that would fly in to these fly-in-only communities. So there's not regular vet access. So what they do is they would fly them in and do spay and neuter clinics for people's pets, as well as wellness checks. And that kind of kept the dog population in check. Since the pandemic, they haven't been able to get into these communities. So we have dogs that have no spay and neuter services, and they're having unwanted litters. So these people's loving pets are going out and having a litter of 8 puppies that just can't be supported by the community, where it's already hard enough to cover cost of living, let alone 8 new dogs. So a lot of these dogs end up outside roaming the streets, and that's kind of the dogs that we're bringing down, as well as injured dogs. So the root of the problem is getting these vets back into these communities to help solve that spay and neuter problem at the root.
So that's the long-term goal for all of us. And in the meantime, you're helping out, not just to the dogs, not just kindness to canines, but Angelo, I understand the plane doesn't go up empty. You take stuff up for the humans up there in the communities too?
Yeah, we actually did a trip up to Kapuskasing as well, and we brought a bunch of food by a church that donated all the food, and we gave it up to the First Nations people up there. So that was
fantastic. Listen, guys, I know there's a whole pilot's aim in all of this too. There's hours at stake. There's lots of career plans going on, but this part of it is from the heart. So, Angela, why are you doing what you're doing? And then I'll give the last word to you, Jeremy. But start us off, Angelo, as you've done these 4 missions now since February. About how it affects you and why you're doing what you are.
Absolutely, we love flying the airplanes. Like Jeremy says all the time, I'm going to steal his line. It gives us an excuse to take the planes up. And not only that, we also love helping others. So if we can help others and fly at the same time, it's just a win-win for everyone.
A win-win-win, exactly. Okay, he stole your line, Jeremy, so you're going to have to think of another one to wrap things up. In terms of the impact on you, obviously you're loving being with the dogs there, and why not, knowing you're doing a good thing. But what does this mean to you?
Yeah, it's so fulfilling. We love seeing these dogs get down and get to better homes. And like Angelo said, we're always looking for a reason to fly the plane. So this is a little more justifiable than spending $300 to go get a hamburger somewhere. We can offset the cost a little bit through our donations, which helps us build flight time, and we can help such a great cause. And if people want to learn more about us, they can find us on social media at Pilots for Paws with the number 4 on Facebook and Instagram.
Pilots for Paws. Love that. Is there another mission coming up, Jeremy, in the near future?
Yeah, I had a request to go up. I think next Wednesday I'm going to do a load of food and medicine that has been donated. I think we're going to try to get to Thunder Bay this time. Okay. And we'll try to organize some pups to come down. Before
Santa arrives, Jeremy and Angelo will arrive and do some good things for the communities. Thank you so much, guys. Really nice to have you on the show to share your story of what you're bringing to the Northern Ontario communities and the difference you're making there. Jeremy Hall, Angelo Peterson-Valdez, thanks again.
Thanks for having us.